And here's the stunning part. Many of those who write about it or talk about it don't even know what they're talking about. $1 trillion is 1,000,000 millions, or 1,000 billions. If we were to spend $1 million a day since the day that Christ was born, going all the way back to then, and spending $1 million a day up until now, you'd still have 700 more years to spend until it would all run out. That's a silly comparison, but maybe it will focus on the kind of money at stake in America's biggest money crisis. Make no mistake about it. We have experienced the greatest taking of wealth, the greatest transfer of wealth, and the greatest destruction of wealth in all of America's history, and maybe in the history of the world. How long will this crisis continue? I'm afraid for a long, long time. First, this crisis has destroyed a reputation that America has fought long and hard for, and that is America's a good place to put your money. It was where the goose could lay her golden egg and not have her nest plundered by thugs or government. We've lost that reputation, and we're going to be paying for it for years to come. Actions have consequences. I believe we are headed for a regulatory morass that will bury business under so much red tape that for years it will look like New York's Fifth Avenue after one of those ticker tape parades when the Yankees have won the World Series. This crisis won't end until we quit digging the hole. And the fact is that we are still letting people run away from their subprime mortgages without much consequence, or cutting them in half without any cost. Don't these people understand that every time someone gets their mortgage cut in half, that someone else's 401k gets cut also? Think about that when you see one of those bumper stickers, honk if I'm paying your mortgage. We've got to quit letting people walk away from their obligations because they are, quote, underwater. Folks, I don't know about you, but throughout my life, from time to time, I've lived underwater, had to dog paddle around to get out. Every time someone who borrows a book to buy a car, or to buy a home, or to start a business is underwater. Should they all get to walk away from their obligations to pay? Should American taxpayers subsidize the bad decisions made by some businesses or someone living too high on the hog? But that's how it now works for a select few in America. And if it continues, we're not going to be able to recognize America before too long. I'll leave you with this story. In 1981, the transition from the economy of the 1970s to the economy of the 1980s all came down to a single vote in Congress. Everything that President Reagan wanted to do to turn the nation around came down to getting his budget through the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives. The conservative Democrats had pledged to support President Reagan. Those Blue Dog Democrats had pledged to support President Reagan. But the night before the vote, they started to waver. And one by one, each member explained why he could not support the Reagan budget, despite earlier commitments. After everyone had finished talking, a native Georgian elected from the state of Texas, then Democratic Congressman Phil Gramm, stood up and said that every once in a while in history, you have to stand up and be counted, just like at the Alamo, where Colonel Travis drew a line in the sand. You have to stand up and take a step across that line. When another Texas congressman pointed out that everyone who crossed that line at the Alamo got killed, Phil Gramm retorted, and everyone who did not cross that line died too. But no one remembers them. The congressional troops rallied, and the next day the vote was won. The Reagan Revolution began, and the world changed with a new birth of freedom and prosperity that still shines as one of history's brightest moments. Will you cross that line? Will you, today's Jeffersonians, give freedom a new birth? Will you be remembered? If I had any doubt on that question, I would not be here today. Churchill was right. History is just one damn thing after another. And democracies shine brightest when the clouds are darkest and the challenge is the greatest. You see, our Constitution does not provide for a benevolent king and a council of unchecked czars. There's just you and me and a system designed not to deliver the best, but to protect against the worst. As this nation sails into harm's way, you are needed. Your philosophy and strength are needed. We must not condemn our grandchildren to live in a country where they will be told when, where, and how they can live, work, and act, what automobiles they must buy, and what doctor they must see. That is not the American dream. That is the goal of ACORN. This is no time, my conservative friends, to be in the fetal position, or to cower under the covers, or to tiptoe through the tulips, or to be one of those cold and timid souls who knows neither victory nor defeat. This is a time like no other in history. So fight this good fight, and may God bless you, and God bless America.